Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
For 42 years, he has terrorized this town. Tonight, it ends.
We need to stop this mother...
We need a plan of attack.
We have to get these people out of town.
How can he still be alive?
This is Officer Williams. Our night isn't over yet.
going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade J.J. Williams, and it's time to finish up the Rob Zombie part of the Michael Myers saga as we take a look at his version of Halloween 2, starring Malcolm McDowell, Brad Dourif, Tyler Mane, Scout Taylor Compton, Sherry Moon Zombie, Danielle Harris, Brea Grant, Howard Hessman, Daniel Roebuck, Jeff Daniel Phillips, Margot Kidder, and Weird Al Yankovic. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I said in the introduction, today we're here to close out the Rob Zombie saga and take a look at his version of Halloween 2. And our movie opens with a flashback where during his time in the Smiths Grove Sanitarium, a young Michael Myers is visited by his mother, Deborah, who gives him a white horse statuette as a gift. We then jump ahead 15 years later after the events of the first film, and Laurie Strode is wandering around in shock after having shot Michael. Sheriff Lee Brackett finds Laurie and takes her to the hospital. Meanwhile, the paramedics pick up Annie Brackett and Michael's psychiatrist, Dr. Sam Loomis, both of whom survived being attacked by Michael, and take them to the hospital as well. Meanwhile, Michael's body is then taken in another ambulance. When the driver has a traffic accident, Michael awakens and escapes, killing a paramedic that was injured in the accident. 1 year later, after all of that, while Laurie deals with her trauma, Dr. Loomis is chosen to turn the event into an opportunity to write another book. Elsewhere, Michael is still alive and living as a drifter. He's been having visions of his mother's ghost, as well as a younger version of himself, both of whom instruct him to reunite with Laurie. Michael arrives at a farm and kills the owners before he sets off for Haddonfield. As Michael travels to Haddonfield, Laurie begins to have hallucinations that mirrored Michael's past. Her hallucinations also begin to include her acting out Michael's murders. Meanwhile, Loomis goes on a book tour to promote his brand new novel, only to be criticized by the public, who blame him for Michael's actions, as well as for exploiting the deaths of Michael's victims. When Loomis's book is released, Laurie discovers that she is really Angel Myers, Michael's long-lost baby sister. Now, in order to try and escape the horror of the revelation, Laurie goes to a Halloween party with her co-workers, Maya and Harley. Michael appears at the party, though, and kills Harley, and then goes to the Brackett house and fatally wounds Annie. When Laurie and Maya return to the home, they find Annie, who dies in Laurie's arms. Michael then kills Maya and goes after Laurie, who manages to escape. Sheriff Brackett arrives back home and finds his daughter dead. Laurie flags down a car, but Michael kills the driver and flips the car over with Laurie inside of it. Michael then takes the unconscious Laurie to an abandoned shed. Laurie awakens to his hallucinations with Deborah, seen by both her and Michael, who asks for her to call her mommy. The police discover Michael's location and they surround the shed. Dr. Loomis arrives and goes inside in order to try and reason with Michael. But when he tries to resuscitate Laurie from her hallucinations, Michael grabs Loomis and stabs him to death before being shot through the cabin window by Brackett and impaled on a rake. Apparently released from her visions, Laurie walks over to Michael and stabs him to death with his own knife. The shed door opens and Laurie walks out wearing Michael's mask. As our movie comes to its end, Laurie sits in isolation in a psychiatric ward, grinning as Deborah's ghost approaches her with a white horse. Okay. For years and years and years, much like the original zombie movie, I have crapped on this remake, and I still don't like it. I'm just going to go ahead and get that out there right now. However, I do want to state this. When I was going through Wikipedia, writing my notes for the review, I saw something that made me look at this film in a completely different way. And what I read was something that Rob Zombie did in this movie that I never really noticed before until I watched it this time. And it kind of made me see it in a whole new light. Now, what it says on Wiki is, instead of focusing on Michael, Rob Zombie chose to look more at the psychological consequences on Laurie after the events of the remake. As Zombie explains, after Michael murdered her friends and family, Laurie became a wreck who continually sinks lower as the film moves forward. Even Scout Taylor Compton described her character as having these bipolar moments where her emotions are spontaneously changing from points of happiness to agitation. The actress stated that Zombie wanted to see Laurie Strode travel into these really dark places. Taylor Compton clarified that when the film starts, Laurie is still not aware that Michael is her older brother, and as the film progresses, more and more pieces of information are given to her, and she doesn't know how to deal with them. The actress explained that the darkness brewing inside Laurie is manifested externally, generally through her physical appearance and the clothes she chooses to wear. Zombie even characterized the look as grungy. So, looking at this sequel through the new lenses here about how this movie is more about Laurie understanding what happened in the first movie, discovering that she is truly Angel Myers, Michael's baby sister, and trying to come to grips with all that information really made me look at it in a completely different light. Much like I said about the original, I still don't like the violence, the gore, the gruesomeness of the murders. I have no problem watching horror movies. I don't have any problem watching brutal kills, but this isn't my Michael. But like I said when I reviewed Rob's first movie, it's not John Carpenter, it's Rob Zombie. It's a different director and a different vision. And for that, we have to try to look at that and be objective. Now, I think Scout Taylor Compton and Danielle Harris again did amazing jobs. Brad Dourif back as Sheriff Lee Brackett, amazing. The other thing I really didn't like about this one was how they flipped Dr. Sam Loomis. You think about the way Donald Pleasance portrays him in the original franchise, the Thorn Saga 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. And to see Malcolm McDowell go from basically being that kind of Sam Loomis in the first movie to being this greedy, money hungry, fame chasing, book writing Dr. Sam Loomis in the second one, he almost kind of takes on a Gale Weathers type persona from the original Scream, where you just don't like Gale until it gets closer to the end because all she's thinking about is her career. And to see Dr. Sam Loomis more worried about promoting a book and getting the shill out there and trying to make personal appearances and capitalizing on this, that's not my Dr. Loomis. That's the other real problem I think I have with this film. I adore Malcolm McDowell, and in the first movie, I thought he did a great job as Loomis, but in this one, not so much. Seeing Margot Kidder, Lois Lane from the Superman films, pop up in this one was cool. Seeing Weird Al in a cameo was awesome. I love Weird Al Yankovic. But yeah, I think those couple of things just like really still hinder me enjoying this film as much as I could and should. If the murder scenes were toned down to what they were in the original franchise, and if Dr. Loomis wasn't this just greedy character in the sequel, I'd probably enjoy it a lot better. Personal opinion. When it comes to my rating for Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, I give it 2 out of 5 stars. It's not one that I can watch on a regular. As a matter of fact, prior to watching it to review this, I can't even tell you the last time I watched it. It's probably been at least 5 years since I watched this film. It's just not one I can do all the time. It's not one that I really enjoy, even though watching it through these new glasses and getting a little bit more in depth on what Rob was trying to do with Laurie, I enjoyed that aspect. I also enjoyed the little nod to Rocky Horror Picture Show with Laurie being dressed up as Magenta and Maya being dressed up as Columbia, and the other one, Harley, I think was her name, being dressed up as Frank. Great little nod to Rocky Horror in there. But even that couldn't save it for me. 2 out of 5 stars for Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. What do you guys think? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction in the comments below. And make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And it's new release Saturday. Now, tomorrow I'm supposed to be reviewing Bitch Ass, starring Tony Todd. That may or may not be the plan for now. It may have to be changed. You're just going to have to tune in on Saturday, see what it actually is, if it's Bitch Ass or if it becomes another new release Saturday film. However, regardless the case for new release Saturday, immediately following that will be the 2018 version of Halloween, where we return to the franchise with Jamie Lee Curtis and we get rid of Halloween 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, H2O and Resurrection. We pick up pretty much immediately following the original 1978 film. In addition to Jamie Lee Curtis, film also stars Judy Greer, Will Patton, Andy Matichak, James Jude Courtney, Nick Castle, and others. And then later that evening, back on the Casa D18 Studios channel, as well as the Jeff Meacham Network and across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, it'll be time once again for Open Mic Night. Myself, Noah Foster, and whoever else decides to come into the studio and join us, having a little conversation, friendly banter, if you will, regarding the week's events in pro wrestling. You're not going to want to miss out on any of that content right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, on the Jeff Meacham Network, across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media. We got new release Saturday. We got the 2018 Halloween. We got open mic night. So much in store for you. And we've only got 3 days left. To all my fans and friends out there and viewers who tuned in and joined me today, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out on any videos that drop right here on the channel or when we go live, as is the case with Statboy Sports Bar, Open Mic Night, pay-per-view PLE coverage, etc. Share this video with your family, friends, loved ones, co-workers, movie fanatics, cinephiles, fans of Rob Zombie, fans of Scout Taylor Compton, fans of Danielle Harris, fans of Brad Dourif, anybody you can think of that would enjoy this video and my content, share it with them. It's the only way we're going to boost up my visibility in YouTube's algorithms so we can eventually get monetized, make some money on these videos. Thank you once again to everyone who tuned in and joined me here today. It means more to me than you will ever know. And I will see you guys next time.